Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition to In the Blender with your host, Shake Money. And today we have a special guest. Give me 1 second. Of course, the dogs are going to start barking the second I freaking go live. Anyway, this next guest, he is I'm on the Finn's tailgate as well, and I heard color commentary told me, he says, we were talking, he says, man, if you really want some good content, there's a guy who goes on every morning by the name of Dolphins Thirsty. Give him a follow. He said that live on air. And, if color says it, vouchers for him, I'll give it a shot. And I've been watching ever since, man. So I am also a little thirsty right now. But we'll get Dolphins Thirsty when we come back.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
My man Scott Jackson in the building. What's up, Scott Jackson? Michael K. Hey, I appreciate y'all for coming through and showing some love. Now this, like I said, this next guest, I met him. He's another YouTube content creator. He's been on for a while now, and I have the honor and the privilege to welcome to season 2 of In the Blender, my man Rob, aka Dolphins Thirsty. What's going on, my brother?
Well, thank you for having me and all those nice words, Shake. I appreciate it. And hey, Michael K. and Scott, I hope you guys are doing well too. So thank you, Shake.
Yes, I have court. I did have to go to court. I had to slap another Bills fan. But actually, this is whenever I'm in the blender, this is what I usually wear.
Well, you look sharp, man. I didn't get the memo. I got a T-shirt, So
no, but this is my attire. If you look at season 2, this is what I've been, this is what I wear. So
all right, now I know. That's good stuff.
In the blender is one of the reasons why In the Blender is special to me is because it's my first my first show that I did on my own. I created with Larry K. And it's something that I got to meet cool people that I never I met fans that I've never would have met because people recommended me, hey, why don't you interview him, or why don't you interview him? So yeah, man. So yeah, I appreciate, so that's why I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
No, I like it, man. That's a good concept. Sounds
cool. And we get to meet people, and you realize why we became fans. Everybody, like last year, the MCJB, right? Yeah, my first show was with Miss Pam. What's going on? Yep.
Oh, Miss Pam's awesome.
So MCJB, he was on the show, and he became a Dolphins fan because of rock, paper, scissors. He moved to Florida with his parents, so they played rock, paper, scissors. His mom got Tampa, his dad got Jacksonville, so he ended up with Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
There's people like Dolph Freaky. She became a fan because she wanted to be close to her father. There's people because they were, I had another one because he was a Dolphin fan because he was Ace Ventura, and so forth and so forth. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, to try to kind of unify. You know what I mean?
And it's cool hearing how everyone became fans. That's always good.
Yeah, I like the back in the background. See all the logos in the back? I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like this too. See?
Oh yes, I see. Cool stuff.
So, all right, let's get to the thing. Cat for Life, what's going on? Cat for Life was a guest as well. He was my second guest.
He's always entertaining for sure.
Yeah. So the $1 million question: how did you become a Dolphin fan?
Well, pretty easy for me, man. I was born and raised right here in South Florida. Grew up in Dade County. Now I'm living in Broward. But I born and raised down here. Just always became a fan by birth, basically. And my earliest memories are like the early 1980s. I mean, I was like 2 and 3 years old when they won their Super Bowl way back in the early 70s. But I don't remember any of that. I remember the
So
Super Bowl losses and all of that good stuff. So yeah, basically, it's my all in my DNA Miami Dolphins, man. So it just is
Yeah.
what it is. And up here is a big at number 77. No, it's not Jake Long, it's AJ Dewey, who played for the Miami Dolphins back in the day. He had 3 interceptions in the 1982 AFC Championship game over the Jets to get the Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl, where they would lose, unfortunately. But those are the memories that I really started being a huge Miami Dolphins fan and never looked back.
Do you have any games that stick out to you, like when you're growing up?
Yeah, well, the first one, even though it's a loss, that hooked me in where I felt invested for the first time ever. I was like 11 years old, 1981, playoff game against the Chargers. Dolphins got down 24-0, came back, tied it up. They end up losing in overtime in a classic game, but that's the first time I felt like emotionally attached to the Dolphins, and it's been ever since. So that game, unfortunately, was a loss. The game I talked about, AJ Dewey,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 interceptions, and I was at in 1985. My favorite game I ever went to in the Orange Bowl was against the Chicago Bears Monday night. The stadium was rocking. Chicago came in undefeated, challenging the Dolphins' perfect record. They left with their tails tucked between their legs, leaving defeated, and our Miami Dolphins knocked them off. And to this day, I know that 1985 Bears, if Miami just hadn't been on the rotation to play them that year, they would have gone undefeated. But luckily for the Dolphins, we were able to beat them and keep us.
Yeah.
As a one hat we have to hang that the Dolphins have an undefeated season. So that was great. I was at that game, and
You were at the game, the Chicago game.
yeah, I was at that game. Yeah.
Oh wow. You know what's funny is Crypto. We had a guest named Crypto. He's from Chicago. Well, if you watch the Finn's Tailgate, he's on the Finn's Tailgate, and he's from Chicago. So when I try to do like little themes here and there, and I was watching that. I watched the Chicago game on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you could watch. If you go to YouTube, you could pretty much any game you could think of, you could watch it in its entirety. You know, they and the best part is they cut out the commercials. And the 3 things that stuck out to me were the play callers, the color commentators were OJ Simpson, Joe Namath. The fact that Don Shula and whatchamacallit, Coach Dickel was wearing like a little suit, he was looking like an insurance salesman.
All right, yeah, that's how he all. Yeah.
And the last thing, there was a guy who wore number 91 who came from the CFL, who was a rookie that year, Mac Moore. And I was like, wow, Mac Moore wore number 91, came from the CFL, sounds just like another guy that wore 91.
That like Wake
CFL.
years later.
Yeah.
No, hey, no, it's cool, man. And that's what I say. That game was just so much fun to be at, and the Orange Bowl was rocking. It was just going crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I
And
still
you
I
didn't
can
see
get
too many Bears
goosebumps.
fans either in that stadium, did you?
What's that?
You didn't see too many Bears fans in that stadium.
Oh
did you?
no, man! It was all Dolphins that night, man. Almost, of course, a few, I'm sure, but it was just packed with Dolphin fans. It was so much fun, and because that was all the talk all week long. It was like, oh my God, the Bears are challenging the Dolphins' undefeated record, and the next thing you know, we knocked them off their perch. And I still would have liked a rematch in the Super Bowl. Everyone says Chicago would have killed us in the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I think we could have been in their head because they killed New England in the Super Bowl that year. So who knows?
So let me ask you this. Being that you go to games, because I know we got to take a picture one of these days.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Being that you go to the stadium and that you've been to the Orange Bowl, in your opinion, how would you compare and contrast the Orange Bowl to the even though Hard Rock Stadium has all the glitz and glamours. A lot of people said there was nothing like the Orange Bowl.
Yep, no, that's it. For comfort and just per comfort and not going to the bathroom in a crocky old place. Yeah, it was like, and waiting 10 years, the comfort of the seats, Hard Rock, and ever since they've done the renovations at Hard Rock, beautiful. You can't compare. But just for the excitement level, and granted though, Dolphins were a lot better when they were playing in the Orange Bowl. So you have to take that into the equation too. But yeah, the atmosphere in the Orange Bowl was just unheard of. It was, unmatched. And it's just that's why you feel that magic, because when you're in the Orange Bowl, we had good years. It's like Miami Hurricane fans. We remember the Orange Bowl being better because they were good. It's just like ever since the teams have gone to, Hard Rock, Joe Robbie Stadium, Dolphin Stadium, let's see, Land Shark, Pro Player, whatever other name you can throw in there that you remember this stadium being called. But to me, it's definitely more comfortable at the new facility. But memories of the Orange Bowl are.
What's up, Steve Malloy?
The memories of the Orange Bowl are great. Hey, Steve, thank you for coming by, Steve. But yeah. So to me, it's like if you're saying comfort, Hard Rock, memories, and just excitement of the football, the Orange Bowl wins.
Yeah, it is. I remember when I was in high school, I used to go to Carroll City, and one of the games that I'll always remember, I was drunk in high school, but it was Carroll City versus Carroll City Chiefs versus the Miami Northwestern it was the semifinals in the Orange Bowl. That's how big it was.
Wow. Yeah, I know. No, they did. They had a lot of high school games and stuff back in the day in the Orange Bowl and stuff. So
yeah, they had state championships.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. And like I said, I'm not a diehard Hurricane fan at all. As you know, my son goes to the University of Florida, but I went to the first ever national championship won by the Hurricanes in Nebraska. I was at that game too with Howard, Snellenberger. Hurricanes got a big lead, almost blew it. Nebraska went for a 2-point conversion at the end to win it when they could have just tied it. And, but they, to their credit, Osborne went for 2. batted away, and their dynasty started, back in the day. So I was at that game because we just happened to have tickets before the Hurricanes for him and announced in it, and it was awesome.
So being that you went to the Orange the 1986 Bears, is there a game at Hard Rock that you could kind of compare? What would be the closest that you could compare?
Well, a fun one when Dan Marino came back from his Achilles, he hit Urban Fire on a 4th down play to win the game, and that was his first game because the previous year he had gotten his Achilles hurt. Dan Marino came back. I loved that game. I was there, and there was some other. I was there in the playoff game when the Dolphins beat Kansas City with Joe Montana coming at the end of his career as a quarterback for Kansas City. So that was a lot of fun. I was at that game that's up here. Well, you can't see it's a picture of this year's game that my son and I went to against the Denver Broncos, where they put up 70,000 points, it felt like. So that was a lot of fun. So there's been a lot of fun games. Nothing would probably beat the Bears game just because that we knocked off the Bears out of the undefeated rank. But yeah, there's been fun games that I've been to in that stadium. So
no doubt. So let me ask you this. Do you have a game time food that you like?
Game time food. Not really, man. But on the days that we're going to the game, my son and I go to 1 or 2 places, depending on how we did the previous week. so it's like we either go to, I know, nothing big and fancy because I got picky teenage son, but we either go to Subway or Wendy's before we hit Hard Rock. And if it's a loss the previous week, we go to the other one to get back on the winning ways, and it works. This year we went to all winning games. So it was fun. The only 2 games I missed was the Buffalo last game of the year. And, we all know how that went. And the Tennessee game, we all know how that went. So
yeah, because primetime games are kind of harder for me to go to.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Me too. So I agree.
Yeah. So
Even thing.
I was at the New England game. I was at the Giants game. I was at the Panthers game, and I forgot the other game that I was at. But either way, it was a good time.
Yeah. You need to get Steve on here. He has a long history with the Miami Dolphins. One week you need to get
Oh yeah,
Steve Malloy. He'd be a good
I would
guest.
love to have him on here.
Yeah.
I would love to have anybody who's a Dolphins fan tell me their stories, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Because look, one of the things that inspired me was Q. What's going on, mi hermano? One of the things that inspired me was I used to listen to the Fish Tank podcast. So this was like tales from the Dolphins players. You know what I'm saying? How they experience. I'm like, why not do it from the fan experience? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's cool. Good thinking, man. No, like I said, I love it, man. It's a lot of cool when you told me the concept before the show, what we were doing. I said, "Oh, I'm on board." I love going down memory lane with our
Oh, shoot.
Dolphins.
Hey,
You
let me
know,
know how can I reach out to you, man. I'll reach out to you, whatever platform you want to, man, and I'll set up an appointment. I'll set it up, man. Dolphins talk. I set up something with tomorrow. I'm doing a special episode with from Dolphins talk.
Manny.
Michael Leve.
Oh, Micah Lee. Oh, you got him. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Next week, I got Mr. Negative. There's lots of people that I'm looking to add, and fans, content creators. You know what I mean? I love it, man.
Yeah.
And
You got to
I
get
just want to talk.
Courtney Oslo on there one day soon.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody,
Yeah.
whether
But
you're a fan, as long as you look, I only have one requisite that you got to be a fan of the Dolphins. That's it.
That's it. Nice and easy.
You
So
know.
Michael K, sorry, you're out of that. You're not in the blender, Michael.
Well,
K.
actually, he's a secret Dolphin fan.
Yeah, he is. He probably is. I tell him that all the time on my show. So
Yeah, I know. That's why I get it from. Yeah, and I'm starting to realize that you're right. I think you may be onto something. You're very astute, and
yeah, exactly. But all joking aside, Steve Malloy would be a great guest. I would look forward to it, Steve. I would come say hi too. I'm a fan of beating the dog. Yeah, okay, Michael K. But hey, Adam's a cool guy too.
Yeah, he reminds me of that guy who denies he doesn't like that. You have a crush on that girl. No, I hate her, but he secretly has a crush on her.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
it. That's Michael K. in a nutshell. Hey, Mr. Raphael Courtwright. But
So
yeah,
let me ask you. Speaking of which, who was your most hated division opponent? If you had to pick one.
believe it or not, it's not who you probably think. Or you might. It's the New York Jets, without a doubt. Even as dominant as New England was over the years, and Buffalo's been in the past few seasons, and that's it. To me, it's always and always forever will be the Jets. And it comes from a couple petty reasons, but hey, sport fans were allowed to be petty.
Yeah.
And for one, to me, they did a dirty shot on Dwight Stevenson that ended his Hall of Fame career way too premature, very upsetting. He lets bygone be bygones. He doesn't say names, but to me, I know who did it. To this day, they played. My biggest hint will they played at Alabama together. To me, it was a dirty hit. No reason to do it. It was on a turnover, and Dwight Stevenson was just standing there looking, and he couldn't catch the. And then the guy rolls up and nails him. But so anyway, and then also Pete Carroll doing the choke sign to us when Pete Stoyanovich missed an extra point, and it looked like we were going to lose. But we came back and we won after he had done the choke sign. To this day, I don't like Pete Carroll or the New York Jets, but I can hold it. That's the only grudge I hold in sports. In life, I have to sometimes let bygones be bygones. But in sports, it's fun to hold grudges. And I Jets without a doubt. Sorry, Michael K. The Bills aren't my least favorite team. Don't like you, but the Jets are my least favorite without a doubt.
Well, Buffalo is mine, and I'll tell you where it all started.
AMDC.
Right there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, there you go, Michael K.
That's where
my favorite game when in the 80s was or 90s. Yeah, 90s by that point was when Louis Oliver had all the interceptions, and that was a fun game going up
What's
there.
going on? Hey, Adam Sadowski. I got to hang out with him a couple of times during this. He's a cool dude, man. See, that's one of the reasons why I did the show. He knew who I was, and I saw him, and he's a cool dude. I love, and I hope I get to see him next year.
Yeah, no, I've never met him, but he comes into my show a lot, so he is a cool dude. So, and I went to a Panthers game, Adam, and I was their bad luck. They got beat 3-0 on the night I went. But hey, at least I kept on saying all year I'm going to go to a Florida Panthers game. I'm so close to the arena, and I'm like, well, let me go, and I went, and unfortunately, they lost. So, but
I had this gentleman on here too. This is Bleezy from Miami sports content, Dolphins sports content. Yeah, Miami Dolphins content. You can catch him on Mondays with CT and CT therapy, whatever. And he's that's my dude, Mr. Bleezy 38, my fellow West Side guy.
Cool.
Yeah, so all right, now I'm gonna put you on the spot. All right.
Okay.
If Miami Dolphins was to leave Miami, would you still be a fan?
That's hard for me because I'm actually down here. A lot of people in this room, like Steve, I know for a fact, and don't live in South Florida, so it's an easy yes for them because of the team they grew up watching. But I would still think yes, of course. That'd be the closest reason for me not to ever. But I was just, it's still the aqua and orange, and I would root.
Because so if they were like, for instance, the Austin Dolphins.
Yeah, I know. That would be painful. But I guess since it's still the Dolphins, but it would lose a little bit for me. It would lose because this is my local team, and in baseball I already don't have a local team, so this is my one local team I root for. So it's just that would be hurt. That's a tough question, but I guess the answer is yes, but with a little less passion, and it's especially if say what happened to like Cleveland Browns, they left, then became the Ravens, so. And then they end up getting another Cleveland Browns team because they kept the name, but for a while they didn't even have a team. And just think about like you're in Baltimore, and it's just weird. Some of the cities end up getting teams again that got abandoned during the night, But and like, what if you're like a Houston Oilers fan and they all of a sudden become the Tennessee Titans? To me, that's harsh. Hard, but I guess I would because it's still the aqua and orange, and this.
Yeah, because I know a guy who's a Rams fan. He was a Rams fan when they were in St. Louis. He was a Rams fan when they were in LA. I know a guy who was a Raiders fans. He was a Raiders fans when they were in Oakland, LA, and now in Vegas. So
I say that's why I think of, for me, since I'm such a South Floridian, I'm a rare breed down here. Born and raised, I lived in South Florida for 54 years, my whole life. So it'd be like a little punch in the gut if they did it. But yeah, I would still root for them. But it would definitely hurt a little bit.
The New York
Dolphins. So no, but that would hurt. But yes, I would root for the Dolphins almost no matter what. So, but that would hurt.
So, given last year's team, right? What grade would you give last year's team season?
Man, I would give it passing, but I would give it like the kid that basically by midterms were kicking butt and he just put it on cruise control the rest of the way because he had an A, but he just said, oh man, if I get some F's along the way, I'm still going to get a C for the course. So I would say maybe like a B minus. I would give it a slightly higher than, and that's only because if you count regular season exclusive to the playoffs and maybe a little higher, but I came into the season. I predicted, Steve and I both know this one on our show, on our preseason prediction. We both know the Miami Dolphins at 11-6. So they both came right on par there, but we also both predicted playoff wins, and we were wrong. We were wrong on that front. So if you say just regular season, I would say a B plus, just because, they fell a little off towards the end in December. But overall, it's like a B minus C plus, like flip a coin, because at the end of the day, it was very disappointing that they didn't win a playoff game. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So C plus B, not an F like some overreactions might be, because at least we did get to the playoffs 2 years in a row. So I would go B minus. B minus.
All right. So now I have two awards, one for offense and one for defense, right? Two awards for offense and defense. First award is the MVP, and the second award is the participation trophy.
MVP of
So
our Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. So on the Miami's offense, who is the MVP and who gets the participation trophy?
Offensive, it has to be. I know this is like probably everyone would say it. Tyreek Hill. I mean, it goes. He's changed the dynamic of the team.
Eichenberg.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Eichenberg. So yeah, but being all serious, yes, Tyreek Hill. Participation, like you said, that might be Eichenberg, but pissed. Oh man, you know what? Almost anyone on our offensive line could almost fall, but some of them did play decent. So Eichenberg, yeah, you know what? You put that name in my mind. He's our participation guy, Eichenberg.
All right. How about defense? Defensive player of the year and participation trophy.
I know he didn't play the whole year, but to me, even though Chubb and Phillips were having decent years and other, but I'm going with Jalen Ramsey, because you could see the defense getting better once he came and he started playing all the time, kind of shutting down half the field. The defense started playing better. People could get to the quarterback a little better because we had a little bit better coverage. So I'm going Jalen Ramsey as the defensive. And participation, but see, I might as well pick on someone. I won't pick on Wilkins because he was good. I'll pick Jerome Baker because he left there. I get off the hook easy and pick a guy that left.
All right, cool. Yeah, at least listen. So far, this is my third episode, and so far 2 for 2 with Eli Apple.
Oh wow! All right. Yeah, I guess I could have gone Eli Apple, but
hey, listen, you picked something different.
I know. I guarantee you, when Courtney Gall, whatever you want to call her on Twitter, but her name's Courtney. She would definitely say Eli Apple. But to me, I would just say, even though Jerome Baker is fine, but he just, for the money we paid him, I just thought he would always be better than what we were. So there you go. There's an Eli Apple coming in there. I almost forgot about Eli Apple.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite acquisition, and what was your biggest heartbreak this offseason?
Really no heartbreak, because maybe,
or disappointment, would you say?
Maybe Van Ginkel, because but I almost expected them all to be gone. So it's really like no heartbreak, because I just had already braced myself. But Van Ginkel, I did hold out a little hope that he might come back. So I would go Van Ginkel, 100% sure. That's the biggest let down, being gone, because Wilkins, you knew he was going to be gone. There was no way the Dolphins could give him the dinero. Once you saw what Hunt got, there is no way you were going to give him that money. So to me, it's definitely, it is what it is. Those guys I knew. So AVG is my guy I'm missing the most.
Oh man, what are your expectations for this draft?
Either offensive line. I want offensive line. There's so many good ones out there. Troy Fontaine, the Powers kid that everyone loved, Jackson Powers Johnson. So all those guys, man, they're all really good. Any one of them would look good in a Miami Dolphins uniform. I like the edge rushers too. So, there's a few out there. Oh, and it's my favorite acquisition this year. I guess some of the linebackers. I would go Jordan Brooks. I don't even know how great he's going to be coming in from Seattle, but I would go Jordan Brooks or Kendall Fuller, the cornerback. So.
But hey, listen, going back to you went. How many games have you been to? It sounds like you've been to a lot of games.
Oh yeah, I used to have season tickets for many years, and I had to give them up. And then when I went to get them back again, they end up having, because of careers and all this kind of stuff, where I didn't have the Sundays off. Then there's a waiting list now that I retired recently from my jobs on the street as a police officer. So I'm recently. So then I said, I'm going to get and then there's a waiting list, and that's all basically because Tyreek Hill. There was no waiting list before Tyreek Hill signed, and everyone and their mother went and bought I'm figuring he sells seat tickets. That's for sure. You know, he hasn't won us a playoff game yet, but he does sell tickets, butts, and seats because there's a waiting list for the Dolphins. So I'm still on it. So, and I guess I'll go into next year because they never got. I know Kohler got touched, but he was on there a couple weeks before me, and then I got on it. So I just got knocked out of the rotation probably.
That's what's up. And so one of the questions I asked you, how would you I'm gonna put it. So you've seen the Marx Brothers and Hill and Waddle play live. Can you compare and contrast between the two?
To
Wide
me, I
receivers?
know people are the newer, younger guys are gonna give me. I will always take Duper and Clayton. They were so much fun to watch. They were so exciting. Granted, they had Dan Marino tossing them the quarter. I mean, as their quarterback, tossing them the football. So yes, and that's just childhood memories. Now, if you're just gonna say total stats and whatnot, then of course you're gonna have to say
I'm just saying.
Tyreek.
I'm just saying. No, I'm talking about eye test. I'm talking about.
I like Mark Duper and Mark Clayton better because they played at tougher time when they would get mugged half the time coming off the line, and there was no hitting a defenseless receiver. There was no such thing. If you were going up for the ball, you were fair game, and they would whack attack you, man. They were just boom. And those guys too put up good numbers on, and they were smaller guys too as far as football goes. So to me, it will always be Mark Duper and Mark Clayton.
And you know what I find interesting though is the fact that when I watched that the game, the Dolphins game, the undefeated, the when they played the Bears,
right.
Mark Clayton and Mark Duper did not wear gloves.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, it's different now. Hardly anyone did back in the day, and then it's just now, and it's like a normal thing. But see, someone agree. Duper and Clayton. See,
That's my man Raphael Courtright.
Yeah, he's awesome too. He comes to my show a lot too, and also to the other channel I'm on, Finn's Talk Sports Network at times. But yeah, to me, it's just always to be Duper and Clayton, number 85 and number 83, just awesome. Always the best. That's it. But you're always going to rank your childhood guys higher because when you're a kid, you look up to these guys like, oh, they're the greatest thing ever. So definitely Duper and Clayton.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a cartoon back in the day. You're gonna always like it, but if you compare it to today's cartoons, and then you try to like He-Man, for instance. I grew up watching He-Man,
right?
And I'm like, oh man, He-Man was the best. And then I rewatch it. I'm like, wow, this.
Yeah, I know. I know the graphics and everything's just not the same and whatever. I know. But that's why it's good. I guess it's good to remember just the good stuff in the past.
Yeah.
So I don't rewatch because some movies don't hold up either, and then some movies do. But,
yeah, Thundercats was pretty good too. But give me 1 second.
Steve Malloy, AJ. Yeah, I like DeAndre Sweat. Or I can't pronounce his name, but I like Sweat too. Jay Stone. So Shay, I don't even know. So Shay, how did you become a Dolphin fan, real quick? I know all your people probably already know, but
I'm just kind of like you. I was born in Miami, born and raised in Miami. I was a casual fan, and then the Brian, this game kind of made me a diehard fan.
The Buffalo Bills bird flip. Right there you go.
Oh, no, forget. What's funny was they asked him, "Why did you do that?" He says, "Well, we were 1-1 at the time. I was letting them know what my record was."
Yeah, that was a good one. We got a couple other. Steve says Paul Warfield. I had a feeling he may say that, and Nat Moore from Robert. Nat Moore is a lot of fun. He still works with the Dolphins to this day. He's actually a cool guy.
So,
but that's funny, man. That game of all games is one that you remember because that meme lived large in Dolphins Twitter. I mean, that picture lives in Dolphins Twitter today. It's just You always see that. So
Yeah.
it's funny. That's the game you pick.
No, I never applied to. I'd rather get a prostate exam from Edward Scissorhands before I applied to become a Bills fan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's such a high cut that they crash through tables. It takes a high, smart level fan to be a Bills fan.
No, actually, it's a low IQ fan to become a Bills fan.
Yeah, that's why you didn't make the cut. There you go. They said,
Yeah,
"Oh, this guy's too smart."
I was saying words with 2 syllables, and they were like, "You're too smart for us."
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I brought the. I'm gonna bring back. I used to do a numbers game, right? But because for you, I'm bringing it back because I remember you used to do those number games, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna spit out a random number, and you tell me what's the first player you think of when you hear that number.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 29.
Sam Madison.
27.
This one's going to be funny. Most people are going to be whatever, but he was a University of Florida running back, Lorenzo Hampton, 27.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what I think of.
51.
Brian Cox.
All right. 14.
Oh, that's a close one. But who came in first was Fitzpatrick. But I would have said Jarvis Landry, but Fitzpatrick popped in my mind first this time. So
Number 10.
Don Strock.
88.
Oh, 88. Man, that was before my time. I think Jim Mad Dog Mandich, who was my favorite radio guy ever, was.
Oh, me too, man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I used to watch Dolphin games, I would lower the radio and turn up the volume on the 99 Kiss Country.
Yeah, no, he was. But I'm gonna go him. I'm going with Jim. Even though it's before my time, but if you ask who I think of, and that's who I think of, Jim Mandich. But yeah, no, he was great. Shake on the radio. He had a great radio show on the
Mad Dog QAM.
Yep, exactly. So it was great.
R.I.P.,
So I am going with Jim Mandich, even though he was really before my time. So,
all right.
Yeah, the next one would be like a Vince Eflin, who no one never heard of. So
you're on fire. 84.
Oh, Bruce Hardy. He was a tight end back in the day. Played in the Marino era some and the David Woodley and all that.
I always think of Chris Chambers.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, Bruce Hardy's starting to show my age. But yeah, Bruce Hardy's the one I think of.
All right, and lastly but not least, 78.
Well, I think you probably had him on your radio show before, and it's good to give some offensive linemen some love. So Richmond Webb, number 78. Pick number 9 of the Miami Dolphins out of Texas A&M, same year that they drafted Keith Sims, number in the 2nd round. So, and there you go. So that is those numbers. Those are the ones those are the guys I think of.
All right, now I'm gonna do one more game with you, and I'm starting this new, so I'm gonna start with you because I'm not gonna do it with everybody, but I think this game fits you perfectly.
Okay.
All right?
I hope.
I'm a number 1 draft pick from San Jose State, and I wore the number 58. Who am I?
Oh, Kimbo Kemper.
Boom. See, here you go. All right. I was the number 2 pick from LSU, and I wore number 14.
Oh, in the 2nd round. You mean 2nd round? Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. I got drafted by I don't know where I'm, but I got drafted from Florida State, and I gave my number to Ricky Williams.
Okay. He was drafted. He came from Florida State, the player.
I was drafted by Florida State.
And he 34 to.
He had the number.
Was he a defensive back or was he?
No, he was a running back.
Oh man! Oh man, who did we have from Florida State? Quick little guy. Man, that one I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna concede on that one, I think.
Travis Minor.
Oh, Travis Minor. Yes. I forgot he was a Seminole. So you're right. It kind of came to me right at the end. But yeah, Travis Minor. That's a good one,
Right.
man.
I was a third. I was Dan Marino's. I was a 1,000-yard running back with Dan Marino, and I had a basketball player's name. Who am I?
Oh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's a good one.
And lastly but not least, let me see. Let me think of a good one here. I'm a running back. Played with Buffalo and got the last Dolphin. I was with Dolphins when they won their last playoff game. Who am I?
The only Buffalo running back I remember is Thurman Thomas, but
That's it. Yep, that's it.
It is okay. I was gonna say, man, that was that long ago that he was there. Man, it seems like time flies. I can't believe he's been out of the league that long. That's sad.
Even Michael K knew.
Yep, Thurman Thomas. So nailed it. I kind of guessed, but that's the only one I could remember from Buffalo. So
let me ask you.
It's been that long since he's been out of the league already.
I'm gonna give you a couple of. I'm gonna list off a few duos. Okay, when I mean duos, and you out of these four people, right? The four duos I list, right? You could add them onto next year's roster. Who would they be? Okay.
Okay.
The duos are the Marx brothers, Zach Thomas, and Jason Taylor, Ricky and Ronnie, or Richmond Webb and Dwight and the Dwight Stevenson.
Oh my man! Now you're man. Okay, as much as I love myself, Duper and Clayton, we're okay there because like I said, I put them a little higher, but with Waddle and Hill, we're okay. So my reason that's where I'm knocking them out. But man, I was set to say Zach and Jason Taylor, but once you threw Dwight Stevenson in there, man, oh my goodness, it's down between Taylor and Thomas and Webb and Dwight Stevenson. Oh my god! You know what? I think I'm going. Oh my god, that is so good, man! You're killing me. You're killing me. This is a painful decision. Oh man. Oh, Taylor Thomas. Man, we know what. Oh, man. You know what? Webb and Dwight Stevenson, man. That because we've been bitching about offensive line in Dolphin land for so long. You add those two studs. You know, much as it pains me to pass up on Taylor.
Yeah, that way you could get rid of Armstead.
Yeah, no, because Webb is a lot more reliable. Almost always play, and then you got Dwight Stevenson, and you could move Brewer over to guard. You're good, man. So to me, it's just hard to pass up Dwight Stevenson. To me, he's one of the best Dolphin players to ever play, and he's out of Alabama. His career's cut short. So I'm going with Richmond Webb and Dwight Stevenson. As much as it pains me, because can you imagine with some of the other pieces we have on the defense, putting Taylor and Thomas on this defense? But I'm going with that's it. I said I'm going with Webb and Dwight Stevenson. That's my duel that I'll bring back.
All right. So and last question of the day. I usually do an ultimate team, but it'll take too long. So I made it a lot simpler. What is your Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore?
Oh my god! I don't want to give too much away because I'm working on a top 5, so I can. I'm going to give away I'm working on the behind the scenes top 5 Miami Dolphins of all time, but obviously,
I mean, it could be coach. It could
yeah,
be
I know. I'm teasing. Now that you said coach, I got Don Shula, Larry Zonka, Dan Marino, and Dwight Stevenson. There you go. I just have
There
to
you
throw
go.
my Dwight Stevenson in there.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to. It could be. Yeah, you could put way high Zinga. You could put. You know what I'm saying? You know
Hey, the Finn's tailgate is in the house.
what's going on, El Capitan? He
El
was on there
Capitan.
last year too, man. He had his purple jacket and everything, man.
Hey, that's cool, man. Like I said, I was talking about El Capitan. I was saying, man, I'm getting old. I forgot all about Courtney's and his show. I got to go watch it later.
Oh,
And,
it was fun, man. It was fun.
oh no, I love them together, man. I'm trying to get him on Courtney's show one day soon. But totally forgot. That was going to be my watch. I don't even know what I did Sunday night, but I forgot. But I have the excuse of being over 50, man. The memory's not what it used to be, unless it comes to Miami Dolphins football, like you just quizzed me on. But other than that, it's easy to forget. Hey, Manny B.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. Hey, there you go. There she is.
There she
Made
is.
it.
Speaking of her, like I said, she will also be a good one to get on this show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, man. The good thing about when season 2 is over, the best part about I'm looking for one of the reasons I look forward to this season 2 being over with. You know
What's
what?
that?
Because once season 2 is over, that means we're watching Dolphins football.
I know. I knew that was probably going to be your answer, but so yeah, no, that's great,
Yeah, yeah.
man. So you do this show what, once a week or?
And I once a week, sometimes twice, depending if I have a lot of guests, whatever. If I could listen this year, if I could do it 4 times a week, if I have that many guests booked up, I'll do it. If I have only one, I'll do it one. But Thursday is the flagship day. It's
Oh,
Thursday.
thank you, man. I'm glad I made the flagship day, man. That's good.
Yeah. I had you. Like I said, I had you in mind. That's why I reached out to you, man. Because at the end of the day, man, I love the work you're doing. You're
No, I
straight to
love
the
you
point,
guys
and
too, man. And if I don't always comment, I still lost your guys' views sometime. But man, there's so many great content creators. So for you to pick me out of all of them too is awesome. And like I said, I'm gonna be looking forward to this show now. I
hey,
know
by the way,
it's so hard to keep up with the Finns tailgate. I mean, you're on the Finns tailgate a lot too, and all these other great shows out here. But it's fun.
oh man, so what I was gonna say is that yeah, I look forward to every off season. The last episode is in July, so I started March, April, May, June, and then July. That's it. After July, it's over.
Yeah. Hey, nope. It's it's fun, man. I look forward to seeing Steve and Courtney, all these people on here. It'd be fun to see, man. So I look forward to it now, and I know about it. Another one I have to add to my list of much watched Dolphin content.
Oh, and listen, Michael K, do me a favor. Look. I watched the Dolphins 72 and 73 Super Bowl on YouTube. You can watch it in its entirety. Just put up the Dolphins Dolphins Super Bowl, 72 Super Bowl, and 73 Super Bowl. I'm still looking for the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl. So, Michael K, can you text me the link to that Super Bowl? I would surely appreciate it. The Super Bowl win.
I think you may be looking for a long time. So, so it is what it is, though. But hey, Bills are getting revenge on the Dolphins recently because we dominated them all. When I was too young to appreciate it. But Steve Malloy went through a whole decade of never having the Dolphins lose to Buffalo. They won the whole 1970s against Buffalo. So Buffalo's been getting the last laugh lately, but we'll swing it back around our way one of these days soon.
By the way, the link to your channel is in the description below. So if you're watching this, make sure you click on the link, subscribe. How often do you go on there? How often do you do content?
2 or 3 days a week during the off season. It's just hard to whenever or anytime information warrants, like news breaks or anything like that. But basically guaranteed Monday and Thursdays. Today I didn't do it, so I said, but because Steve and I do our show on the Finns Talk Sports Network on Tuesday nights. So I do normally Monday and then Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. And then lately I've been doing baseball shows on Friday on another network with Bobby's FinTalk Sports
What's
Network.
up, Hooked Up Joe?
Oh, hey, Hooked Up Joe. Better late than never. Haven't seen you as often lately, Hooked Up Joe, but always he's cool. He's a regular in my room too. So
yeah, I think Hooked Up Joe is more of a I think you'll see him more in season.
Yeah,
but he comes around. I listen. I'm not trying to make Color jealous, but man, he Color is like probably like some of the one of the best voices on YouTube. I tell you what,
Hooked Up Joe, he's a great
him
one
a run
too.
for his money.
Yeah, he does, man. I'm usually an off-season guy, just busy. No problem, Hooked Up. But yeah, you're right. Him and Color both have good radio voice. I got a good radio face, as the old joke says. But
yeah, me too. I have a face for radio.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, and a voice for but yeah, I'll tell you what, he's Hooked Up Joe. He's very positive, and I always look forward to him whenever I see him on the panel shows that we do. So
no, for sure. He always tries to put a positive spin. He joined my panel shows a couple times, so I can always rely on him for a little bit of a positive spin. So he's always doing.
So anyway, we're about to wrap up now that we got your and once again, it's an honor and privilege to have you on here, Rob. Thank you so much for coming on here, man. Steve, I am looking forward to having you on here as well. And any Dolphin fan who wants to talk about how you became a Dolphin fan and some of your favorite memories, man. Same thing with you, Hooked Up Joe. If you follow me on social media, if you want to be on here, I could do it. We could do it live. We could do pre-recorded. Dealer's choice. I'm easy. So, with that being said, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, just again, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And for everyone that came in the room today, make sure you hit those thumbs up for Shake. He does good work all the time. So thank you very much.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, if you can hang on backstage real quick, and then I'm about to wrap up. So we'll wrap up together. So, and man, I appreciate everybody. Steve Malloy, Hooked Up Joe, my man Manny, Tyler Bruto, much love. Of course, Michael K, Raphael Courtwright, and can't forget
Courtney came in.
Courtney, Jay Stone, my man El Capitan. Appreciate y'all for coming through, hitting the like button, man. And there's another episode in the books, man. Again, once the last episode of In the Blender is here, that means we got football in the horizon. So
hey, that's always a good thing.
With that being said, fins up, everybody. Peace.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.